It freaks me out.
Guys, this is Brian with another segment of BAM. So today what I wanted to talk about is emotional intelligence and how we can use that to kind of transfer that into multiple array of intelligence that we have, such as mating intelligence and social intelligence. So what I mentioned before was Howard Gardner and his multiple intelligences. And this is basically anything that has to do with linguistics, mathematics, creative, interpersonal and intrapersonal, natural, like the environment, and kinesthetic, like body. And I forgot the last one. But for the most part, what we're going to focus on is the intrapersonal and the interpersonal. So intrapersonal is basically understanding our own mental states, and then interpersonal is more about ourselves with other people. And this is more about distinguishing others and their emotional needs and being able to kind of convey our best selves with these people. And the most important thing that you want to actually take out of this is the control of emotions that we're going to have during interactions that we have with other people. So there's a study in the Netherlands with Karamans and colleagues, and basically what they found out was that when individuals talk to the opposite sex, there's a decrease in cognitive ability. So this most oftentimes happens with men when they're talking to women. So another thing that they also found is that when we are distracted, when our cognitive abilities are impaired, we are more likely to actually cheat. So this also goes into the ability of kind of understanding why people make the decisions that they do, because they don't have the discernment to make the decisions that are available for them at the time. So we're looking at this mating and social domain, right? And what we're looking at is a couple of concepts that will help us understand why we react the way that we do. So social intelligence is basically a person that successfully conveys his inner beliefs and his inner emotions to others in the outside world. And this is a very difficult process just because you have to actually understand who you are as a person. And this may in turn go through trial and error of understanding that the world will let you know who you are, especially because sometimes the beliefs that we adopt aren't the ones that we value the most. So in this kind of system, we'll make decisions that basically allow us to understand what is most important to us. So basically what they do to break down what emotional intelligence is are 4 basic concepts. And these are understanding emotion, the ability to identify emotion, stimulation of emotion into thoughts, and the management of our own emotions. So what people will basically look at us as, we'll have this openness to us, we'll have this agreeableness, and it shows some competence within society. So this creates a form of social status and an intelligence that is very attractive to the opposite sex, whether we are male, female, whether we are straight or gay. We have to socially be aware of the fact that we have to procreate as human beings. Just like any animal in the animal kingdom, they go out of their way to find a mate during mating season, or any traditional mating rituals that they might have during their lifetime. So just like us, we have to understand that basically what we do is have this initiation of approaching one another in a social setting or any kind of situation where it would be appropriate for us to go out of our way to speak with another person. So there are two aspects that we'll look at as in attraction: interpersonal and intrapersonal. So we spoke about these in intelligences. Now we're talking about traits. So the interpersonal is basically the physical traits that make other people attracted to us, whether it's our intelligence, our physical attributes, specific jawlines or anything like that, for example, or just the fact that we're from a different ethnicity. And the interpersonal would be more about demonstrating and conveying some skills or abilities that may make us more suitable as a mate to the other opposite sex. And this basically is more about like derogating. So in the animal kingdom, it'll be more about challenging the alpha male to a duel to the death, right? In today's society, obviously we can't do that because it's illegal and it's against the law to even consider premeditating a murder such as that, and even duels, of course. So what we would do is demonstrate some savviness or witness through like comedy or creativeness. And these are two examples that I will give in this first segment, and a number of segments that will kind of demonstrate what we can do to let go of this understanding that we can't attract other people because of our anxiety, our looks that create anxiety, being too smart, because most oftentimes what happens is that the people who are average in their general intelligence do better than the ones that actually have higher intelligence. And this is because they're too sensitive in aspects of what others are thinking about themselves. So they're thinking about themselves in that aspect versus what their counterpart or their partner or the mate that they want to attract may need. So they put their needs in front of the other person's needs. So they did a study where there were 3 guys in a bar, and basically they had this one individual cracking jokes and the other ones would laugh at them. And they saw that in regards to humor, women were more receptive to giving out their phone number, and it was about a 40% chance that he would actually be one of the accepting ones. When they didn't convey such social proof, as you would say, in terms of being the leader of their group or having the savviness of being witty, humorous, intelligent, their percentage actually diminished to about 15%, and the remaining 85% was more about rejection. So we see that humor is one of the ways that we can convey our intelligence, and a mannerism that makes it easy for us to see if a person is a suitable mate. So we look at men and women, and the more that they actually share simultaneous laughter, the more that they will be in effect with one another in terms of feeling attraction. What occurs is a display of intelligence that is not common, and what women look for is a genetic predisposition that will transfer genetically through the next generation. So if the father's creative, then more likely there's a chance that the child will actually be creative, which will increase his chances of reproducing as well. So what we're seeing is that conveying such an intelligence will lower our anxiety because, one, we know each other, right? We know ourselves and how to convey that to one another. And our anxiety will dissipate. So people that have less anxiety will actually do better in mating. So this is a broad topic, just because there's different aspects that you can actually look at in how we are psychosexually attracted to other people. And it's just not one thing that we can just say this is exactly what women want or this is what men want, just because we all have different tastes and we're all individuals in our own aspects. So what this will focus on is understanding that we all have different personalities, just like my last video with the Helen Palmer Enneagram. So there's 9 personalities. So there would be like 9 personalities that we could basically adopt to attract other people. And this can go vice versa with men and women. Of course, the way that it mostly works is that men actually initiate the courtship. So hopefully this gives you an understanding of what emotional and mating intelligence is, and hopefully you'll be in tune for the following segments that I'm going to have for this topic. Alright guys, so I'm out and about what I just talked about. Peace.